It appears to me it was in there because it got smashed. Took out all of it. Hello everyone, welcome back to Center Sound Mechanics. My name is Kyle. Today we're going to be working on the 1975 Honda XL250 and I got some stuff from the mail to put on, and I'll be putting a lot of these parts back together, and hopefully by the end of the video have it up and running and ready to go on the road. That's my hope anyways. I'm still waiting for a few things to come in the mail to finally get this done, but hopefully by the time I edit this and put this all together, I'll have everything here and be able to put it on the bike. I did get quite a bit of stuff here. Got myself a gasket kit. For the most part, all I really need off of this is the, right now I need the exhaust gasket portion of that. So I got that. I got new handlebar grips. I got a new front brake lever from Honda. This is also Honda, the grips. I had to get, this is off of eBay. I had to get a replacement throttle twist grip thingamajiggy. Because this on the other one, some of these little prongs broke off, and this one is a push-pull system, and I was riding it with just the pull, and it was too bouncy, and you don't really want to, you know, leave it like that, so I had to get a new one of these. I had the option of getting a remanufacturer going with an older OEM, and I went with an older OEM version. I just had a feeling it would be better than the new one. Got some 6-volt bulbs for the signal lights. I got a new choke cable to go on. I'm still waiting for the push-pull throttle cables. They haven't come in the mail yet. Got a new air filter to put on. Here's the other handlebar grip, and what else is in here? Oh, here's a spare bulb for the headlight. And yeah, so I'm just waiting for those 2 cables, and oh, I got another one of these handlebar switch units. It's a remanufactured one. It's not an OEM one. These are really hard to find. This high and low beam switch is frozen, probably corroded out, but you know, I could probably get underneath here, maybe get this freed up, but I don't have the top button part, and I thought, well, I'm gonna try the remanufactured one. By the looks of it, I'm gonna have to, you know, redo some of the wiring. It doesn't have the proper ends like this one, so I'm probably gonna have to you know, solder on some ends to that. So, but that hasn't come in the mail yet. And yeah, so I think it's just those 3 things: the 2 cables and the throttle switch. I'm not sure, because I haven't driven it with these in place, but these drive cables, I'm not sure if they work. I think the speedometer works, but I'm not sure about the tach. So we'll see next time I start it up if the tach is working. And yeah, and then I got the exhaust hanging up here. I want to put that on. Probably start off with putting that on. It's good to go. If you remember in my previous video, we sealed up the bottom here. Yeah, I just took that down off the wall and put it on the bench here. Yeah, in my previous video, well, I painted all this and cleaned it up, and then there's these ports that I found. The back one here was leaking, so if you look back, I'm not sure if it's 1 or 2 videos ago, where I resealed these two ports and bolted these covers back on. I haven't tried it out since I did that, but this is well and cured now and should not leak, hopefully. But this is ready to go back on. I was waiting for this exhaust gasket to come in the mail, because the one that's in there, you'll see in a minute, it's completely flattened right out, and I didn't want to reuse it, so had to wait for that to come in the mail, and it's here. So we'll start off by putting this exhaust on, and then we'll move on to some other things. And like I said, I'm still waiting on a few things to come in the mail. One thing I did do off camera is I put a new coil and condenser on, so that's new. There's the old one right here. One of the things I didn't like about this one, it still worked, but this spark plug lead was really loose in here. Like, see how loose that was? And I just felt like, you know, it's probably gonna let me down at some point. So I thought, might as well. I'm working on the whole bike now. I might as well just change that. I got an actual OEM Honda one. This is straight from Honda. It's around, I think it was about $100. So paid some pretty good money for that one. So, but you know, it should last a really long time now. You know, I don't have to worry about the coil being bad, but I just didn't like that wire the way it was. So yeah, and then yeah, new handle grips, and probably gonna have to get this first before I put the handle grips on. And yeah, so it's coming together. They got a lot of moving pieces here. So, but let's get started, shall we? So in here is the old exhaust gasket. Let's see if I can get it to come out. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so you see how flat that one is. We'll compare it to the new one. You see the difference? So this one's pretty worn out. You probably could reuse it, but you know, I just didn't want to play around with it. So we'll get some grease on here, so when I put it in there, it kind of holds it in place, and then I can get the exhaust on, and then the grease will burn off over time. Just gonna put a little bit of grease on here. Don't need to start the shop on fire or anything. I just want this thing to stick in there. There. Just like so. So here's the exhaust flange here, and it's got two sides. So that would be the front side like that, and you got this recessed little groove in there, and then you got these little, I don't know, shims, I guess you could call them, and then they go in here. So they sit in there like that, right? And then this goes on like that and holds the pipe on. I'll show you. So you got to slide this onto the pipe first, the correct way. Then you hold this up there. Then you plant these onto the pipe, and you kind of put everything on together. So you got these two shims, so this outer lip sticks out like so. That goes on there like so. And then I do believe this little keeper goes on there like so. And then I'm just gonna have a look and make sure it's in place everywhere. Make sure that's going in evenly, and that's in that groove, and behind those little shims are riding in that groove. It looks pretty good. So no need to go crazy tight just yet. I got some other bolts to put on the other side. Yeah, so this bolt was missing when I took the bike apart. So it's good to be putting it in. And then this one back here. Tighten that one up. And then I'll go around to that flange and just tighten those flange bolts just a little bit, and exhaust should be good. Yeah, just go over these once more just to let's put the new front brake lever on. Yeah, so there's a left and a right. It'll depend on which side these little cutouts are on. So this would be the right handlebar. See if it was on the left. You could probably use it on the left, but this hole would be facing up. So let's get the old one off. So, I mean, a lot of you guys know this, but for those that don't, I just kind of line up the channel that's cut out through here, and then just give that a squeeze, and then when you let go, just pull it, right, and then that'll just slide out the bottom. Voila. Pretty simple here. We just gotta take off, there's a nut on the bottom, and then usually this pin bolt will thread in as well, so there's kind of like this is like a lock nut, so it doesn't back out. So we'll take that off first. Have a look. Yeah, that's clear. And then you gotta back this out because it's threaded as well. There. That one comes out. Now, I never throw this stuff out. We might be able to straighten this out, and we'll keep it around as a spare, because you never know when you snap, say you snap a new one off right here or something, and that'll get you home, or out for a ride, or you just never know. So we're gonna clean up this pin a little bit. we'll put some new grease on it. Let's clean up the perch a little bit. Be careful not to mess up the the brake switch. Put a grease on this little pivot joint here. And put this in. And then run this pin through. Just kind of snug that up a little bit. There. We'll just get rid of a lot of the excess there. And then we just put our lock nut on the bottom. Just kind of cinch that up like that. And we'll come around with our brake cable. Make sure the slot's lined up there. There we go. That was one way of doing it. There, so that's hooked up. I can just take some of the slack out by taking that out a little ways. There, that feels good. So we'll adjust this more when we get to riding it, but that feels great. And this one's good too. And there's a cover that goes over here, but I'll wait till, you know, the final touches. I'll put these covers back on. Okay, we're gonna move on to changing out this air filter. It's about the only other thing I can do until more stuff arrives in the mail. So we'll just take off this cover. Loosen off this clamp here. Might actually take the whole thing off. I actually just remembered I have to take the carb out to change these cables, so Not even sure if I'll put her back on yet. Let's see here. There's a bolt, 10mm bolt, and on the side of this air box that holds this air filter screen on. Yeah. And this thing should come off. Yep. Okay, so if you watched, I don't know if it was the last video or the video before that, I kind of made this makeshift little air cleaner. It works okay, but it's not the proper air filter, so I'm going to change this out. Looks to me like you take the back of this bracket off. And that gives you that. And this here. Yeah, this thing's pre-oiled, guys. You can see the oil on it. So that's cool. It looks like it would go just like that. It's got a little hole here for that bracket. First, this is the band clamp that went around there. Yeah, this thing's pretty oily. Okay. Now let's see if I can find where this goes. Right there. I'm not sure not sure if this goes this way or that way. I'll figure it out when I go to put it on. I think I'll just cinch this down a little bit. Yeah. That way I can move that if I have to. That looks right though, like that, if you ask me, just by the way this is angled. If it was flipped up, I don't know. Yeah, that might not work. Yeah, I think that's the way it goes. And then I'm just gonna see if I can loosely fit this in here. Yeah, Yep. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to throw this bag back on and just leave this off the bike until I'm ready to put it all together. Well, look what just came in the mail. A pair of throttle cables. Woohoo! Right on. So I'm going to get back to work here and start putting those on. That means I can put my choke cable on too. Because I got to take the carb off to do all three. So I was waiting for everything to show up, and yeah. So now I can go ahead and install these, and then I can actually put the airbox on too and everything. So that's cool. So I'll probably fast forward through a lot of this just because it's pretty basic. Okay. Work on the choke cable first because the handlebars are going to get all floppy and there's this bracket that holds the choke cable, and it's just kind of hard to reach in there, so I'm just backing out these bolts, and then I can pull this out a little bit. This part here is, I had to tape this up because it's broken, and so it's just time to change it. But I can't get the thing removed until I can get this slid all the way down here. So the new cable, you gotta take this plastic nut right off, slip this down into the bracket, and then put the cable plastic nut back on the cable, slide it all the way up, and then if you look at the side here, it's got one flat side, and then it kind of clocks into this bracket like so, and then you can do this up. There. And then we'll just feed this down. Kind of like it was. There. So this, we'll take these cables off the carburetor. This one, the cable inside was broken right off. So it's definitely no good. And this one, I was still able to use it on the one cable, but what I found when I was riding it, it was really hard to control the throttle, like going over bumps and stuff. It was really jumpy, and I figure it's most likely because of the you know, the fact that it was just the one cable on there. Okay. Now both the ends of these are different. This one, oh, that one's gonna have to be spun out. So it looks like you do this one first. Oh, this is tight. Yeah, so both these cables are got different ends. So this one you have to kind of wind in like this. And I'll leave that kind of loose because I'm not sure where it'll end up. And then this one actually has a fitting that turns, so it's a little different. And most likely I'm gonna have to put this cable end in. There, like so. just putting a little bit of grease on this part. Yeah, I'm just gonna tighten this up a little bit, stop it from moving around. So before I put these on the carb, I'm gonna try oiling them up with this thing here. Sometimes this system works really well, and sometimes you just get oil all over the place. It's just kind of hit and miss. I've got some actual cable lube here, so I'll put this in there. See what happens here. Ooh. Okay, and then we'll try the other one. Let's do the choke cable too. Why not? Okay. Checking to see which one is the pull, so when I twist the throttle, so this one pulls the throttle. And that's going to be the one on the bottom. Okay, I think I got everything situated the way I want here. Maybe this can go up here. Yeah, for the most part. And I'm just going to tighten up this clamp, and then I can put the air filter on. And I think that takes care of the throttle cables and the choke cable. There's that. Okay, so I'll put this on. I think this rubber is kind of misshapen a little bit from being old. I'll tighten that on there. Okay, so that's mostly in. Now let's just fit this up like so. Little bolt here. There. That's better. Wow. That I think this rubber's kind of shrunk down a little bit. It made it hard to fit that in. I mean, it's understandable. It's pretty old. There's that. I just gotta tighten up the side one. There's that. Okay. I think the airbox is on. Awesome. Now that's looking good. I just got a little bit of oil everywhere. This thing will probably smoke quite a bit when I fire it up the first time. So that's understandable. Okay. All right. That looks pretty good. That went on like it's supposed to. I got new throttle cable, full range. Got the choke cable, full range. Awesome. Okay, the last item has finally arrived in the mail. It's this reproduction left handlebar switch for these types of bikes. But the thing is the wiring's a little different. I'm gonna have to modify it a little bit. This plug doesn't exist on the bike, so I'm gonna have to snip the wire there and then put some of these bullet ends on. And then I'm also gonna have to take these 3 wires and kind of have them come out here, and I'm going to have to make them a bit longer, so I'm going to have to modify this so it'll work. And then I also got my flasher in the mail. This is, it came in a 2-pack, so this is the other one. We've got the other one in here already, and the battery on this thing is kind of weak, but it does work. Let's see. Yeah, see, there you go. So now it's flashing on its own. It's just the battery's kind of weak. I'm probably going to have to get a new battery for this bike, but for now it does hold a little bit of a charge, so that's cool. So yeah, that just went in there. And at first when I hooked it up, I had the wires the wrong way around, so I just flopped the wires around and then it started working. And this one doesn't make a clicking sound, so it must be electronic. So it's doing the job a different way than the standard version. I'll just turn that off so I don't kill the rest of that battery. So I'm going to work on getting this modified up so I can put it on the bike, and I'll bring it back when I have it you know, looking better. All right. Yeah, I'll just show you how I'm making these ends on here. I've got a bunch of them done already. So I'll just strip the wire back. Give it a little twist. And then I like to just bend this last little bit over and make a little hook out of it, like so. And then I've got a tray of these little bullet connectors. So I'll take a male one. I like to hold it in here like so. And there's probably a crimping tool for this, but I just use my needle nose pliers and try to start bending the flaps over. Like so. And then we'll set it up in here. I'm just sort of holding on to it gently. Like so. And then I'll solder it. Just torch it. Like so. And then I'll let that cool down just for a sec. And then I'll bend the bend the second tab down. Give that a squeeze. There, it looks like you can see that. Give it a little tug, and then put the little bit of heat shrink on there. Okay, so that gets all of the ones that are going up underneath the headlight. And then these ones go off in a different direction down below the steering stem. but I have to make them a bit longer. They have to be about much longer. And so I've got this old wiring harness that has a lot of the similar colors. Like I need a blue, I need a white, and I need a blue with a white stripe, which I don't have, but I've got a light blue that could work for that. So I'll trim some pieces of wire out of here and add it to that loom, and then we should be good to go. Okay, I'll just show you how I'm blending these two wires together. Just strip it. So don't forget to put the heat sink down. So that one's ready, and then I've got the same color blue here. Strip this one. Right. And I take the two wires, just kind of hold them like this, and get the corners of the vise like so, and then just kind of lightly squeeze on them so it holds it. And then, without twisting the ends of these, I'm just kind of blending them together like so, and then give it a light little twist like so. And then just a quick little solder joint. There. Let that cool down for a sec. I'll just slide the heat shrink over it like so. There. Okay. So now I've got all the little connectors put on. So I'm just going to kind of tape this up, give it a good finish. Okay, so that's what it looks like now. I had to branch this one off because it goes into a different spot, and then yeah, change all these ends. This plug used to be on there. So now it's all those connectors, and this one has just been lengthened with the same ends. And I just tested everything, and it's still, everything is working. So that's good. It's ready to go on the bike. Let's see if we can't feed this in. Trouble. There's that portion of it. Now this one's probably going to be a little harder. Yeah. I think that's... Yeah. Something like that. They don't really give you lots to play with here. Okay. So that's what that looks like now. Cool. So plug it in and see if it works. One thing they got right on this is the color coding is right. So you can just plug orange into orange. Sometimes you gotta give these little connectors a squeeze. Kind of need to feel them click in, otherwise they're not properly, you know, it's going to be seated in there. Let's do blue first. So this little screwdriver just shoves it that extra little bit. Okay, so those are the two side ones. We'll stick this one into green. There we go. Okay, and then this one goes into the light green, wherever that one went. That's way over here. There's that one. So then all that's left is the gray for up here. Got that one. Nope. There, I think that's got it. Okay, I think I've got it sorted out now. I was having some troubles with the low beam not working, and it ended up being a loose connection on this plug. Right here there's a big connector, and the low beam pin was not making a proper connection, so I think I sorted that out. And then I took it for a little scoot around the yard here, and then it started bogging and backfiring and running like crap. I was like, oh god, what now? So I looked into it, and I ended up having some really bad gas in the bottom of the tank. It got into the carb. It was like quite a dark yellow. So I drained it out, and then I started getting fresh fuel again. You could tell because it was very white and clear at that point. So then I just topped it off with more new gas, and I think I got that sorted out. So that was a little bit dramatic there for me, because I just went through all this trouble to get it going, and then it started running like crap. And I was like, oh man, what now? So I think I got that sorted out. So we'll start it up, and we'll show you all the lights working and everything. beam. There's high beam. That's the low beam. Got the horn. Little indicator. Kind of see it there. So that's low beam, and then high beam comes on, and then of course you got your turn signals. Awesome. Oh, one little thing that I noticed, well, two things actually. The neutral light wasn't coming off when I put it in gear. So I'm thinking that the wire is off down here somewhere. At least that's where I'm going to start looking. It's probably not making connections, but I think how it works is when you go out of neutral, it grounds that circuit out, I think. When you go into neutral, it's open. You know what I mean? I think it could be the other way around. Oh, and the other thing is the tach cable is not working. I noticed the speedometer cable working, so that's good. It's just the tach cable working. Got all this front end all fixed up. Just got to get this and the neutral switch, and it's pretty much 100%. That's awesome. I just left it running outside there. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Got just about everything sorted out on that bike now. So I take it for a ride, but I don't have insurance on it yet. So I don't really want to risk going out on the road with it yet. Oh, plus I need new tires. That's another thing I got to get is tires. So it's not really safe to ride on the road the way it is without getting new tires. So that'll be another whole thing, getting those on there, and but that's, you know, that's totally doable. So yeah, I hope you liked this little series, getting this bike together. It won't be the last video of this. I'll probably post another one when I got it 100% ready for the road and actually take it out on the road and bring you guys along. But for now, I think most of everything is sorted out on it, and we'll be looking at other projects. I got a few that I want to work on here. I got some little bikes hiding in the shed next to us, so I'll probably be pulling one of them out soon enough and do something with one of them. But yeah, I want to thank you for watching, and if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel out. I really like making these videos and getting them out to you. And hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Center Stand Mechanics out.